This is Open Family Meeting of the Golden Gate Adult Rehabilitation Ministry Support Group. We're a fellowship of people who come together to share our common experiences, strengthen hope with one another, learn about life and relationships, grow in the ability to trust God, become all that He has created us to be. May we open this meeting with a moment of meditation, followed by the Serenity Prayer. Serenity Prayer.
God, bring me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
May we start over here and introduce ourselves.
I'm Chris. I'm covering that.
Excuse your name, sir.
Andre.
All right.
Hi, Andre.
Hi, Andre.
Hey, Josh.
Hey,
I'm Andre, and I'm an addict. Right, 61313.
Andre.
I'm Cheryl Alana.
Hey, Cheryl.
Bob, alcoholic, sobriety date 4413.
Hey, Bob.
I'm Tony. I'm covering alcoholic addict. Friday day, August 10, 2013.
Hey, Tony.
My name is Hassan, I'm an addict, sobriety date 7/21/13.
Hey,
My name is me. I'm an addict, recovery date 5/16/30.
Hey,
My name Ken Humphrey. I'm a Friday day 5/7/13. I'm an addict, alcoholic.
Hey, Ken.
I'm Marcus, I'm an addict. Sobriety date 10/11/12.
Hey, Marcus.
My name's Steve, I'm an addict. My sobriety date is 5/20/13.
Hey, Steve.
Hey.
Shannon.
My name is Chris Crocker. My sobriety date is 5/8/13. I'm sorry, I am an addict.
Jared, I'm an addict. Sobriety date 8/12/13.
Hey, Jerry. My name is Dominique. I'm an alcoholic. Sobriety day 4/22/13.
Hey, Dominique.
Hi, my name is Melody, and I'm a supporter.
Hey.
Hi, my name is Lydia, and I'm a supporter.
Hi, my name is Jerry, and I'm a supporter.
Hey, Jerry.
I'm Obi. I'm a regular recovering alcoholic and addict. Sobriety date 8/5/92, and through the grace of God and people like you all, I haven't found it necessary to drink or drugs since then. For that, I am excited.
Hallelujah.
Meeting guidelines wasn't talking. Please let them finish without interruption. There's no fixing. We're here to listen and support. Be supported by each other in the group. Speaking I form instead of we. Limit your sharing to 5 minutes. Let me remind you that who you see here and what is said in here remains in here.
Here.
And all of that stuff. Today, this is our second part to this four-part lesson, excuse me. Looking at the prodigal son, looking at Luke 15, starting at verse 11 today. And last week we talked about the son, and we looked at the dynamics of this son going out, spending all his money, and coming back. And we looked at what was the response of him and what was the response of his family. Today we're going to deal with the father. How the father dealt with this son who came and asked for all of his money and left and spent all his money, as the word says, on riotous living, wine, women, and song, and came back, and how he was received. Our question at the top of our paper is, where does codependency end? Where does Christianity end and codependency begin? Where does love end and enabling begin? Because we want to find that balance between being good Christians and being codependent. Being good Christian and not being an enabler. And that's a fine line, because we don't know when to help and when to allow them to go. The word doesn't tell us what the dynamics of that took place in this situation before it got there. But we do know that he was a father, that he had a relationship with his son. Enough for his son to come and ask him for all of his money, right? And he gave it to him. So we don't know. So we're going to interject some things. We're going to look at this text and try to see how we would respond and what is the proper response. One of our questions on the paper is, what would you do and what is right to do when we get to that point? And sometimes we don't know. If they come and ask us for all of their money and we give it to them, and then they come back, how do we handle that? Do we give it to them in the first place? You know, so it's a fine line. I think you have to be spirit-led. You got to really pray when you're dealing with somebody who's an addict, because we don't want to go on just personality. Because a lot of times we'll find out that God's prescription for a lot of things is pain. And sometimes when our loved ones get to that point to where they have suffered enough to bring about change, we as family members come in and interject and stop it. And then our loved ones have to go another 4 or 5 years because they was right at the point of where God needed them to be, and we couldn't stand to see it, and we interject and jump in. And so we're going to try to look at how not to do that and when to do it, because there is a time that as family members we need to help. We need to come in. But when is that? That's what we're going to look at today. And how did this father deal with this?